You might not want to hear this, but if you are someone who has been stuck in the struggle, in their same story, going through the motions, really consumed by limiting beliefs, negativity, complaining, and feeling like things just aren't working out for you, there is a chance that you are actually addicted to the struggle. And this is absolutely mind-blowing when I first understood it. And it's really, really powerful to realize how your own brain and the psychology behind things might be actually keeping you wanting to identify with the struggle, even though there's such a big part of you that doesn't want to stay there. And so there's this big fight going on. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking this down for you, sharing with you 3 reasons why you might be staying stuck in your limiting beliefs, in your old story, or in your struggle, and how to shift out of this by using this awareness and these tools. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle. I am here to help you live your truth. And today we're breaking down addiction to the struggle and to the victim story and whatever the old story is that you might be telling yourself right now or feeling identified with. So when we look at your human experience and the way your brain works, there are actually 3 very common examples here that might be keeping you stuck in this place of going through your old story continuously and playing the victim. And I say that lightly because I know that can trigger a lot of people and nobody wants to own up to being the victim. I know I never did, but in hindsight, I can look back at a lot of areas in my life and see that, you know what, my mindset was actually keeping me stuck there, and I was kind of playing the victim and very heavily attached to my story of my experiences and what I'd been through, and staying a victim because of one of these 3 reasons, if not all of them. So number 1 is with your RAS or your RAS. So this is your reticular activating system in your brain. And what this is programmed to do is look for proof and validation of what it already believes to be true. So if you believe that life is hard, or you believe that bad things are always happening to you, or you believe that you are a victim and good things don't really come your way, your RAS is actually going to be looking for validation and proof of that everywhere it can. So this is why when you believe these things, you actually notice them even more often showing up around you. It's not because those things are showing up more often, it's because that's what your brain has been programmed and wired to look for and to comprehend or connect with. So you're going to constantly be continuing to pull in pieces that match that story, and it becomes a little bit of an addiction because your ego wants to be right. And this goes alongside with the RAS. So it's looking for proof of being right. And all of us desire to be right. Nobody wants to be wrong because we have a lot of negative connotations with that. It makes us feel guilty or feel bad. Whereas being right makes us feel smart. It makes us feel aligned, on the path, really in tune with what's going on. But your ego might be addicted to your victim story because it wants to just continue to cling to this, to feel that it's right in what it's saying and what it's telling you every single day. So you might actually be identifying a lot more strongly with these negative emotions and experiences because of the way your ego and your RAS is working. So really, a lot of these things are going to come down to awareness in this video that I'm sharing with you, and really taking some time to reflect on your own beliefs and your thought patterns and taking radical responsibility, because your ego is going to go, no, that's not me. You might have already turned off this video because you don't want to believe it and you don't want to agree or take any accountability. That is the ego, and that's that wanting to be right and wanting to know exactly what you believe is true is in fact the truth. But I'm here to tell you that it's just a really big perception that your mind has been telling you, and it's the replaying of old stories over and over again that have solidified the neural networks in your brain to then believe, because it's happened over and over, and you've fired these same thoughts over and over, and your RAS is searching for these same stories over and over. It's becoming your truth, and so your ego thinks it's right. But you might be addicted to that story for that exact reason and closing yourself off to the possibilities of a different story and the possibilities of love, happiness, abundance, success, good things coming your way all the time. So by using some awareness, being radically responsible, like give your ego a check and really look into where this might be stemming from and what stories you might be giving all of your power to, and asking yourself, like, am I addicted to this current story, this current reality, even if I don't really like it? Am I really identified so strongly that I feel like this is who I am, and so this is what I keep repeating, I keep thinking, I keep believing? Okay, so that is how your RAS might actually be limiting you right now and keeping you stuck. The second thing on here is your support system. So as we evolved, right, think of back in the caveman days where, everyone's sitting around a campfire or something, telling stories, sharing what went on in the day, looking for that support. And we needed and relied on that support system so strongly in order to survive, quite literally. But as we adapted, now our support system usually is people we complain to, people we spread our gossip, our drama with, and that is how a lot of our connections are made nowadays. So there's also ends up being a lot of fear then about incorporating a new story, because we're so used to having these relationships built on the drama. And a perfect example of this even is, like, if I think back to some of my friendships in junior high or high school, and the level of awareness that we all had at that time and our intellectual abilities, like, our conversations would have been very negative focused, would have been very much complaining, gossiping, drama, all of the things that were wrong, this really low vibe stuff. But we knew we could rely on each other to be there, to support each other in these things. When something's going wrong, you rely on that person, your best friend or your friend group, to share this with. And what ends up happening is you build these support systems, you build this culture of trust, but it's based on all of the negatives, and it's based on all of the limiting beliefs, the limiting stories, and the struggles. So subconsciously, there might be a lot of fear in you right now to change your story and to break out of your patterns, because your subconscious mind might be going like, oh my gosh, if I stop doing these things or I stop being that person, I'm going to lose all my people around me, because that's who they know me as. And we have this friendship and this bond based on my struggles. Often this is a really big one that keeps people stuck, because the relationships, you get together for lunch. What do you talk about? A lot of times you're talking about the struggles, all the things that are going wrong. You're not just like, most relationships aren't built on positive vibes and uplifting and inspiring and supporting each other. They're usually on sharing the negatives and sharing the downs. So your mind might be having a little bit of fear and resistance to breaking out of that old story, that old self, and all of the struggles. And so it's actually keeping you addicted to that story and to staying in this negative vortex where complaining is natural, drama is natural, and that is the basis of which a lot of the foundations of your friendships and relationships are built on. So take a few moments to be radically responsible here and look at your relationships, your closest people. What are the common themes and conversations you guys have? What are the pillars that these relationships are built on? Is it like someone you can trust no matter what's going on? Or is it someone who you spend time with and it's mostly just negative banter back and forth one-upping each other about all the things that are going wrong, or complaining to, or sharing drama and gossip with, because all of those low vibe things are very superficial and keeping you stuck in that story. So you might be addicted to your old story for the fear of losing the people who you currently have around you. There's also this major need for camaraderie and for support. So nobody wants to feel like they're absolutely alone in the world, like nobody understands them. But a lot of times then our support system becomes people or environments that are just conducive and fueling the negativity, fueling the struggle, fueling the gossip or pain or drama. And they just keep us living in that story, keep us addicted for more drama, for more interaction on those subjects, and lead to this addiction even more, because we are afraid to lose the people around us and lose that communication, that support, even if it's really not a positive support system, right? Because you're constantly having these negative conversations. So it's not actually healthy for you. It keeps you replaying the old story, which actually fuels your RAS because you're telling it over and over again. The more you talk about a certain story, the stronger those neural networks become in your brain. So the more you're just empowering that negative story or those limiting beliefs, right? So having support is great. And yes, as human beings, it's so important we have connection, we have people to talk to, and it's important that you have a safe place to release and share the struggles and share things that are going on. But if you notice that a lot of your relationships are fueled on controversy and drama and complaints, and the struggle is real, then that energy is just actually keeping you addicted and strengthening more of that negativity. And the third reason you might be addicted kind of goes hand in hand here, and this is comfort, because for years and years, it has probably become very comfortable for you to stay in this story and stay in this place of complaining, of being a victim, of being stuck and held back by a lot of things. And again, for me, it became very comfortable. And after losing my brother, I identified so strongly with being a girl who lost her brother, and with the grief, the pain, and that's kind of started to become a little bit comfortable of my identity. So it almost became a small addiction of like, well, if I stay in this place, then maybe I get sympathy, maybe I get acknowledgement and attention, and I get some support, and this is comfortable because these are the things I desire. And that's not healthy though, because it kept me stuck in a place that I wasn't really comfortable in at all. And the sooner I learned to focus on the positives, to shift out of the victim mindset into a victor mindset and into like a more empowered way of being, then the sooner I was able to kind of break that addiction. So what might be comfortable for you right now might not actually be positive or beneficial to your growth, to your goals, to everything that you want in life. So really taking some time to break down these three things, to look at how they might be showing up in your life right now, and how without even realizing it and without trying to do it intentionally or consciously, your subconscious mind might be keeping you stuck and keeping you addicted to your current reality and to all the struggles, all the hardships, all the limiting beliefs and doubts that you have about yourself and about life in general. So I really hope this video is helpful. I hope it brings some light and some awareness to you about why you might be staying stuck in this place without realizing it. And there's nothing to beat yourself up about for this. This is how the brain works, and so many people aren't aware of it. But now you have the gift of awareness. You can look into your own story, your own patterns here, your thoughts and beliefs, and start to create changes and create shifts that are going to be more positive to get you where it is you want to be. So If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you on the next video. And you can comment down below if you have any questions about this. Also, I have a free mindset training that dives into all things mindset and limiting beliefs and breaking out of your old story. If you haven't watched it, hit the link down below to check that out as well. And I will see you guys soon.